I'll kiss your boots if you can do it. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man. You're gonna be mine. Woo!
G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. All social media is in the description box in this video. And please hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I drop that heat. This is the official breakdown and prediction video for high tech Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jorge Linares going down this Saturday. And this is a really, really good fight. Had to put the lab coat in the cleaners, get it all nice and crispy and spiffy so I can put it on, you know, break down film of this fight. And like I said, I wasn't expecting this fight to happen, but, you know, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, Top Rank, they put it together. They put it together, and it's a great thing for the sport of boxing. And I don't think this fight has gotten the buzz that it deserves, you know, but, you know, never mind all that. Like, it's here. It's here, and this fight is going to be a really, really good fight. But y'all know how I do when it comes down to fight predictions. The record, 14 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws when it comes down to fight prediction videos. So G5 Jeff TV is on a hell of a roll right now, and we definitely going to try to keep it going. And basically, for the people that's new, how I do my breakdown and prediction videos, it's basically I break down fighter A, then I break down fighter B, then I bring it all together, come up with a couple of different scenarios, and then I give y'all my decision as far as the fight. Now, I'm going to start off with Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko is one of the best fighters in the world. Some people have him #1 pound for pound. Some people, they have him in a top 5. And some people think that he's just too young to be in the pound for pound list. But Vasyl Lomachenko is 10-1 with 8 KOs. And no matter how you feel about Vasyl Lomachenko, for what he's done in the amount of fights that he's had is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, he's fought Rigondeaux, he's fought Mariaga, he's fought Sosa, fought Nicholas Walters, he fought Roman Rocky Martinez, he fought Orlando Salido in his 2nd fight in his career, he fought Gary Russell Jr. in the 3rd fight of his career. Like, you could argue that Vasyl Lomachenko has a better resume than Terrence Crawford. And I'm one of the biggest Terrence Crawford fans out here. And I'm actually comfortable saying you can have the argument that Vasyl Lomachenko, in the amount of fights that he had so far, which will be, you know, this fight will be fight number 12, that he has a better resume than Terrence Crawford. Now, Vasyl Lomachenko, strictly off the eye test, I mean, special. He's special. Like, his footwork, foot movement, what he does in the pocket is just, I mean, it's second to none. It is second to none in terms of the footwork. And when a boxer has good footwork, that means they take themselves out of danger, and then they put themselves in the best position possible to succeed on offense. It's a beautiful combination, and that's what Vasyl Lomachenko has. Offensively, he can let those hands go, and he's extremely accurate. Because of his footwork, he puts himself in great positions to land. And he does that with anybody. He does that with anybody. And his ring generalship is second to none as well. I mean, if you look at some of the fights that he's had, you take the Mariaga fight. He was just styling on him, just showing off in there. Jason Sosa, that's another fight. He was just showing off. You know what I'm saying? Rocky Martinez, he was in there just showing off. Like, has a certain moxie about him that's just, it's just top notch. And for a guy to have basically 12 fights and for him to accomplish what he has accomplished is absolutely crazy. And even the one loss that he had to Orlando Salido had to come in overweight. And Vasyl Lomachenko's team was so confident in Vasyl Lomachenko, they didn't even ask him to do a same day weigh-in. They was just like, fuck it, we're gonna fight him anyway. And then Orlando Salido landed a lot of low blows, a lot of rough tactics. Referee did a horrible job in that fight. But, you could argue that if that fight went one more round, that Vasyl Lomachenko probably would have stopped Orlando Salido in that fight. But, it is what it is. Like, you got to give Orlando Salido a whole lot of credit for beating Vasyl Lomachenko, but that's the only blemish on his record. And Vasyl Lomachenko was coming for greatness. He's coming for greatness at the end of the day. And this is his first fight at 135, which again is showing how great he wants to be, because he's not taking a tune-up fight. He's going up against arguably the top guy at 135 in Jorge Linares. Now, some people, it might be Mikey Garcia, but he's been jumping around in weight too much. And Robert Bunny Easter, to me, is not the top 135-pound guy. So for Vasyl Lomachenko to do what he's doing and challenging himself and going up against Jorge Linares it's just greatness. It's just greatness at the end of the day. Win or lose, like him taking on any and everybody and not shying away from competition, like this is what we need in boxing. So for that reason alone, I'm a big Vasyl Lomachenko fan. Now, when it comes down to Vasyl Lomachenko and how he matches up with Jorge Linares, there's a couple things I'm going to be looking for. Number one, is Vasyl Lomachenko going to play the role of the counterpuncher, or is he going to play the role as the lead guy? And the reason I say that is because Jorge Linares gives you opportunities to lead, except for being a counterpuncher. That's number one. Number two, how active is Vasyl Lomachenko going to be in this fight? He will be the smaller man in the ring. So I'm really curious to see if Vasyl Lomachenko was going to sit down on his shots more and not move around as much. And the third thing is Jorge Linares like to throw a lot of combinations, and I mean like 4, 5, 6 punch combinations. So I'm curious to see if Vasyl Lomachenko is really just going to walk away from those shots and just get out of range, or is he going to try to punch with Jorge Linares and put something on him and try to get his respect early. But that's basically what I'm looking for from Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, I'm going to keep it moving to Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is one of the best offensive fighters in the world. Like, offensively, he's a beauty to watch. Got fast hands, got some cracks, and he throws multiple punch combinations. He moves well. He does a lot of different things in the ring offensively. He's really, really good. Jorge Linares, I look at him just as a fighter, and I look at his talent, I look at his skill set, but then there's some fights where he's had difficulty, and I'm like, I don't think he should have. He has a habit of making fights harder than what they have to be. He's coming off of a fight against Mercito Gesta, and Gesta, he looked like Manny Pacquiao's uncle. He just looked like a bigger version of Pacquiao for some reason. Even though the fight was at 135, he just looked bigger than Manny Pacquiao in terms of weight. And Jorge Linares went in there, styled on him, did his thing. guess though came to fight, he was just outclassed in that fight. But you go with the fight before that, like when he fought Luke Campbell, that was a tough fight for Jorge Linares. Like that was a tough fight. Like it was really a knockdown by Jorge Linares that really got him over the hump. But that was a nip and tuck fight, and Luke Campbell definitely started turning it up in the second half of that fight. And then Jorge Linares had to fight Anthony Corolla. Anthony Corolla. I keep on calling him Anthony Corolla, like the Toyota Corolla. No, it's Anthony Corolla. And he had to fight him twice because the first fight was, nip and tuck. It's a nip and tuck fight. Anthony Corolla wanted the rematch, and Jorge Linares gave him the rematch and beat him in more convincing fashion in the rematch. But these are guys that, don't get me wrong, Anthony Corolla, he's okay. Luke Campbell's actually pretty good. I'm a Luke Campbell fan. But the thing is, the elite fighters shouldn't have trouble with these guys. Like, I can't see Vasyl Lomachenko having a problem with Anthony Corolla. And I can't see him having a problem with Luke Campbell. Like, I don't see it. So sometimes the performances versus the actual skill set of Jorge Linares doesn't match up. Okay. Now, what I'm looking for in this fight against Vasyl Lomachenko, number one, how much bigger will Jorge Linares be over Vasyl Lomachenko? That's something I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. Number two, how active is Jorge Linares going to be with the jab? With a guy that moves around as much as Vasyl Lomachenko and as elusive as he is, a lot of times, you can't aim for the head. Like, you can't aim for head shots. It's kind of like in basketball when you guarding a guy that got crazy handles. Like, you don't follow their every move. You just follow their chest. You know what I'm saying? Because their chest not going to really move. It's kind of the same thing with Vasyl Lomachenko. He moves around so much. Like, it's hard for you to get a clean shot. So if you're just taking a bunch of headshots, 9 times out of 10, you're probably missing. So it's going to be curious to see if Jorge Linares actually comes in and actually throw jabs to the chest and body shots and put in some body work. That's going to be number two. And number three, is Jorge Linares going to be confident enough to actually throw these 4, 5, 6 punch combinations against Vasyl Lomachenko? And they're going to be tempting because Vasyl Lomachenko moves so much and he kind of got like this matrix type thing going on when he in the pocket. It's going to be kind of tempting to throw 4, 5, 6 shots just to try to land 1 or 2. But when you miss shots, it tires you out. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. Now, to bring all of this together, how I think the fight is going to go, Jorge Linares, bottom line, Jorge Linares has to be special on Saturday to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Because when you look at a fighter and you look at their past matchups and you're like, okay, what style beats this guy? So Vasyl Lomachenko, you're looking at him, you're like, okay, somebody with Orlando Salido style has shown they can beat Vasyl Lomachenko. Jorge Linares doesn't have a Orlando Salido type style. So I don't see him employing that style to try to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. So that means that Jorge Linares is going to have to beat Vasyl Lomachenko in his own style and in his own way. Now, Jorge Linares is going to have to be special because he's going to have to convincingly win rounds against Vasyl Lomachenko, which is not easy. And number two, he has the challenge of trying to hurt Vasyl Lomachenko. We've barely seen Vasyl Lomachenko hit, let alone hurt. I think the one person that might have put hands on Vasyl Lomachenko the most is probably Gary Russell, and that was very little. Wasn't much at all. So, Jorge Linares, does he have the technical skill to beat Vasyl Lomachenko? On paper, yes. But the actual fight, he's going to have to do a lot more than what he's done in the past in order to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, Vasyl Lomachenko, the difference with him is that he is special. He knows he's special. He acts as if he's special inside and outside of the ring. And Vasyl Lomachenko doesn't have to come outside of his element to win this fight. Vasyl Lomachenko can do exactly what he does and let them hands go a little bit, and he can win this fight. Jorge Linares has a history of, cuts, bruises. The facial tissue is not that strong, so you can bust up Jorge Linares. You can bust him up. And Jorge Linares has a tendency to fade late. He doesn't perform as well in the second half of the fight as he does in the first half of the fight. And Vasyl Lomachenko, he really has to get past the weight issue and him being the smaller man, but I don't think that will be a big problem for him. So, just to cap everything off, my prediction is Vasyl Lomachenko will stop Jorge Linares in the 9th round of this fight. Vasyl Lomachenko will get the victory over Jorge Linares. This will be a competitive fight, but really the difference between the two is that Jorge Linares has to be special on Saturday to beat Vasyl Lomachenko, and Vasyl Lomachenko just has to be himself, and he can beat Jorge Linares. This is a case of very good versus great, and great is gonna beat very good every single time. And it's kind of weird that I'm saying that, because it's kind of like with basketball. A team goes up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they'll ask you, well, what's your prediction for the series? And I'll say Cleveland, and they'll say why. And my only explanation would be, well, Cleveland has LeBron James and the other team doesn't. Sometimes it just comes down to that simple logic. Even back in the day with the Chicago Bulls, if they was facing the Phoenix Suns or the Utah Jazz or the New York Knicks or the Indiana Pacers, I would say, who's going to win the series? Somebody asked me, who's going to win the series? I'm be like, the Bulls. Why? The Bulls got Jordan, and they don't. You know what I'm saying? When teams is facing the Lakers got Kobe, and the other team don't. Or the Lakers got Shaq, and the other team don't. Sometimes it's really not that much of a breakdown that's needed. Sometimes it's just when you have that one guy that's just great, that's just like a generational talent, sometimes that's the only explanation you have to give. And this is one of those situations. And I think Vasyl Lomachenko was that guy. Jorge Linares is not going to quit. He's going to put on a good fight. He's going to put on a good effort. But I think at the end of the day, I think Vasyl Lomachenko is just going to style all on Jorge Linares, and I think eventually he gets Jorge Linares out of there, and I think the referee stops this fight. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'm trying to get another victory. I'm trying to go to 15-1 in fight predictions. We on a roll. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.